Hello, everybody. This is Camille Batiste. Welcome to our YouTube channel, where we talk about all things that make great leaders. And today I get a chance to share a success story from an amazing person, amazing leader, an amazing athlete who is teaching other people about excellence and impact and living up to our potential. So today I welcome Angela Lewis. Welcome, Angela.
Thank you, Camille. Thank you so much for inviting me on. I can't wait to dive into this conversation.
I am very excited to have you. So, first question, just to jump right in, if when people ask, who is Angela Lewis? How do you introduce yourself today beyond the titles? Just who is Angela?
Introduce myself as someone who loves empowering others, who loves opening the doors of access, particularly to young people, and then someone who loves sports, specifically basketball. That's the core of who I am.
Well, maybe let's jump into basketball because I don't know anything about basketball except, who the big time players are. What got you into basketball?
What got me into basketball is that I really didn't want to play basketball. It was it was not a part of my vision or plan at all as a kid. I have older brothers and they played. And so, like most little sisters do, you just do whatever your big brothers are doing.
Hmm.
Well, I ended up growing. I'm 6'1". I've been this tall since I was 12 years old. And at that moment, there was a coach who saw me coming out of Blockbuster Video with my family. And he asked if I could play on the team. And my mom said yes. And he invited me to practice. And that was when I first started playing competitively and playing organized, but it didn't start off too strong.
Yeah. Did you fall in love with it though, early days, or did you have to grow to love basketball?
Oh God, no, I didn't love it at all. Like most people who start something new, it's not fun because there's so much to learn. And basketball is one of those sports where dribbling, passing, running plays, offense, defense are all a part of being a good player. So no, it wasn't fun. I was really bad.
And that's a great lesson to learn, right? Because
Mhm.
there's so many things that a lot of us try. I know when I was that age, I was asked to join the track team and it wasn't fun. And so I don't run track. And that was the end of that story for me. So, maybe
Mhm.
I would have been a fantastic runner, but because it was hard at first, I decided to move on. So I think it's a really good lesson even then to say you start something, chances are you're not going to be great at first. It takes commitment, it takes coming back, it takes perseverance to really get into it and become successful.
Camille, you're right on it. It does take staying with it. I will say I didn't know until honestly this year what made the difference for me. Beyond commitment and perseverance, it was environment. I didn't know that this team that I was going to be playing on was a select team of girls who had been playing much longer and a coach who had won state championships. And he wanted to develop the next generation of talent. So I was blessed to be a part of a program that was already successful, and I had to raise the bar. In
Mm.
addition, my brothers were bigger, faster, stronger. They're identical twins who I lived in the house with. And then I have another brother who would visit on the weekends, who was my competition. So I didn't have a choice. Really, they really forced me. I didn't have a choice in those two environments, but to become better. So I'm grateful for the environments. Left to my own devices, I would have been, playing double dutch all day or something.
Like me. I love that though, the environment and really just who is feeding you and who is speaking
Mhm.
into you. So take us back to a defining moment in your basketball journey, on the court or otherwise, that
Mm.
permanently changed how you saw yourself.
One of the most defining moments, defining usually comes from a place of pain. One of the most defining moments for me was my senior year in college. I was all conference player, had scored over 1,000 points, and really wanted to play in the WNBA. At the Women's Final Four, which happens every year, they had a pro combine, which is basically a camp where all the women who are seniors in college who still don't have agents want to play in front of the agents and have an opportunity to get signed for a WNBA team or at least a WNBA tryout. So, Camille, I signed up for this combine. I went down to the final four. And the day of the event, I arrived at the event and everyone was leaving. Everyone was leaving the event. It was the combine, the camp. Everyone was leaving, and I was devastated. And so I went to the event organizer and said, what's happening? Why is it over?" And she said, "Oh, we had to change the time." I said, "Oh, I didn't know that the time had changed." She said, "Oh, it's okay. We'll give you your money back." I went to the bathroom. I boo-hooed. I was so hurt. And that changed my life because I have never since then, and will not, if I can help it, miss an opportunity because the time changed. So, yes, I was upset, but at the same time, it's my responsibility to double check and reconfirm. If you know how many times I looked at this invite for today, I just won't miss an opportunity because of the time. So
Yeah.
that was a hard lesson to learn at 21 years old.
Hmm. It's interesting how these events shape how you do things, but
Mhm.
it typically shapes how you do things as you continue to strive for excellence, right? So I would imagine
Yes.
you're always on time, you're always double checking. Punctuality is important to you, and I would imagine too that you expect the same from other people as you're doing your daily work, just because of that experience.
Yes, and I'm glad you said that because as you strive for excellence, it doesn't mean that I no longer make mistakes or I've never missed anything. It does
Hmm.
mean that I checked and maybe looked at it wrong, or there was something that came up and I couldn't make the commitment.
Hmm.
But I definitely, especially when travel is involved, double and
Yeah.
triple check.
So do you think that missing that event also changed the trajectory of your life in the sense of was that the only opportunity to get that last visibility with WNBA?
Wonderful question. The lesson out of that was check the time, but there's always more opportunities. That
Mm-hmm.
opportunity was I put so much weight on that opportunity that I didn't consider what else were the possibilities. And the
Mm-hmm.
greatest possibility came out of my immediate network. So my college coaches knew agents and they knew people who they could connect me with, which is what they did. So one of my coaches connected me with an agent who was in Germany, and I ended up going to Europe. And Camille, I can say with pretty good certainty had I not gone to Europe and had that experience, my life would be my mindset, my heart space, my spirit would be very different than it is today because that changed me in so
Yeah.
many ways.
Well, tell me more about that. I mean, just the story of how you ended up in Germany and how was that different for you? What changed for you?
Camille, if they would have told me they were hooping on the moon, I would have said, put me on the rocket ship. That's how much I love the game. I developed the love for the game after my initial
Hmm.
entry point. Going to Germany was the first time I was immersed in another culture where they didn't speak the language for me all the time. It was my first time hearing German. I grew up in the inner city of St. Louis. Nobody is speaking German. You might hear the word sauerkraut only because it's in the grocery store and you put it on the hot dog or whatever. But it was my first time being immersed in another culture. The other thing is Europe, you can travel throughout Europe. So I was able to go to so many other countries and that were distinctly different. Paris is very different than Germany, which is very different than Finland and Sweden. And so that was remarkable for me. So I love that. And then the friendships you develop. So it's the being immersed in another culture, seeing, traveling to different places, and then the friendships I developed have sustained me these
I
past
love that.
20 something years.
I love that. And it gives you a global perspective. You see the world differently. It's not so
Mhm.
like just America centric, America out. You can actually see the
Yeah.
perspectives of other people who didn't grow up in St. Louis or didn't grow up in the United States. I love that.
Yes, and the beauty is basketball connects us each other from all around the world. It's one of the few entities, sport is one of the few entities that gives us that connectedness regardless of culture
Hmm.
and background.
I love that. See, I should have stayed on the track team. If I could do it all over again, I guess I would have, I don't know. I don't know what I would run, but not the
No,
100.
I'm sure you no, you've done just fine. No, you've done just fine. I'm
Just took a different
confident.
path.
Yeah, sports was just my thing.
Yeah,
It just happened to be the thing for me, but
I love that.
there's so many other things for others.
I get you. So let's transition off the court. So a lot of athletes struggle with who am I without the game, right? You've been playing your whole career, you're playing since you're 12 years old, then you do something else. Um, how did you navigate the identity shift after playing? I think you coached also. So maybe let's go from
Mhm,
playing to coaching and then post-coaching. How did you just navigate the identity in the sense of this is who I am, and now I have
mhm.
to be something else?
Camille, I had this conversation the other day, and I just realized this literally this past weekend. You don't have to be something else. We're told that, and you're not going to be an athlete forever. You're not going to play forever. Sports ends. No, it does not. It doesn't end. I am a coach at heart. I'm a basketball player at heart. Put anything in front of me that I can shoot something in, I'm going to shoot it. Laundry basket, trash can, doesn't matter. Something is going in the bucket.
Mm,
So I used to believe before a few days ago that I needed to create this new identity and be something different. But here's what happened and why this became so salient for me. One of my high school summer, we were on the same select team, AAU team in the summer.
hmm
Her niece just signed a letter of intent to go to North Carolina State to play basketball. So we're looking at the next generation of girls. And we are in this field house on the basketball court. And my friend says to me, nothing compares to being in between these lines. I said, girl, I know, me too. And she does incredibly well as a makeup artist and does incredibly well at business, but there is nothing. When you committed so many years to that, nothing compares to it. So it never has left us and it never
mm,
will. So you don't have to change identity. You take the best of what you got from being a coach and you learn a new skill, but you're always a coach, you're always a player, and that's
mm.
okay. Like I'm here to say, like, keep being a ball player, keep being a
Yeah,
coach. You just learn new things, but don't let that go.
yeah. I
Don't
love
let it
that.
go.
The first thing you said, you don't have to be something else.
No,
I
they keep
mean,
telling us that we do. And
yeah,
I'm tired of it. I'm tired. No, you don't have to be nothing else. Be that.
yeah.
Because especially when you're great at it. It's like telling someone who, I mean, it's like you work so hard to accomplish these things that were really important to you. And then you're told, forget about it and now become a business person, or forget about it and now become, no, I'm still that.
I
And
love
you
it.
just add this other stuff to that.
And at the and you're also still you. And so all of those things are building out who Angela is. It's not just one thing or the other. It's all of those things
All of
are
it.
a part of
All
you.
of it.
I love that. Thank you.
100%.
Thank you. So let's talk about what you're working on right now.
One of the things that I'm working on that I am so excited about is a children's book called
Mhm.
A Ball and a Chance. It is about this little girl named Destiny who's from St. Louis, and she loves basketball, of course. And she's very tall, so she feels a bit out of place. And she has an opportunity to go to this basketball camp in another country. And the book is about her experience at this camp and her experience meeting kids from other cultures and what that does for her. So
Mm,
I am this I'm so excited about this project and the impact it's going to have.
How soon can the rest of us get a chance to see this book or to read the book?
Well, after this, Camille, I can give you a sneak peek. However, everyone else will have to wait until late February, around March, until March Madness.
Okay, but soon, not
Um,
this is not a
Soon.
concept. This is not just kind of in your
No,
brain.
no, no.
It's been written.
Oh, it is written. I already have the images. The reason it's not out already. So if you're writing a children's book that
Hmm
is specifically about sport, here's my piece of advice, make sure the illustrator actually knows the sport. I had it. I had an illustrator who didn't know basketball. So the lines on the, I would tell them the scene. I told the person, I want the scene to look like this, but the
Mm-hmm.
lines on the court were off, or the lines on the basketball didn't make sense, or the body positioning on the court, like I didn't know. So the book is done. I'm just getting a new illustrator who
Gotcha.
knows basketball.
Yeah, but lesson learned, right?
Yes, another
Who would
lesson,
have thought?
another lesson learned. I
Yeah.
do. I would like to mention one thing about the book, Camille. It's the central theme of the book. I'm going to give this away, but it's still worth the read. The little girl is nervous,
Mm,
and her aunt, there's an auntie in the story, and her aunt tells her, always remember, it's new, it's hard, it's possible. With courage and heart, you'll be unstoppable.
mm,
And that is the central theme. I think a lot of young people and adults as well, we try something new and it's hard. So we don't think that it's possible, but it is. You just need courage to push through the fear and
mm,
heart to keep going when you're tired, and you will literally be unstoppable.
mhm.
So that's
I
this
love
one
that.
of the things.
I love that. And I love that it's being taught to someone so young. Because a lot of us, we may eventually learn these lessons, but we learn them in our 30s or 40s or 50s. Well, now
Mhm.
it's not too late, but you've lost the opportunity to apply that lesson at very critical times in your life. There was a quote that I saw, it talked about, so in my coaching, we talk a lot about confidence. People will reach out to me and they'll say, I really need to build my confidence to do X, Y, Z. And there was a quote that I read that said that confidence is the outcome from
Yes.
from doing the thing. So it's applying courage to do the thing, and then you build competence because you've done the thing, and because you have
Mhm.
the competence, now you're
Yes.
confident. But you don't just get confidence out of thin air. Oh, I'm just confident tonight. No, it's
No.
gonna be hard. And you're gonna have
Yes.
to push through the fear and you're gonna have to push through the uncertainty to just start doing it, just like we're doing today, or I am, right? Having this first recording with you. It's just you just gotta do it. And after
Um,
you do it for a while and you have the practice and the coaching and the guidance, then after that, the outcome is having the confidence.
Camille, you're right on point. And I'll add that just because you're lack confidence in one area doesn't mean you lack confidence in every other area of your life. Especially in the sports world, it's like if you miss a bunch of shots, then you lack confidence in sport, but that doesn't mean you're not a confident person. And so you can pull the confidence, if we're talking about young people, from the classroom onto the court. Well, if you got A's in math, how did you get A's in math? Well, you probably studied, you probably asked your teacher for help, you probably were in a study group. You take those same principles of success that you applied in the classroom and then just transfer them onto the court. So
Mhm.
you actually already know what it takes. You just haven't learned how to shift those same strategies and systems to create confidence in other areas.
I love that. So, and it can apply both ways. We can also, somebody
Yes.
is competent on the court and struggling in the classroom. What are those skills that they learned on the
What are you
court that
doing?
you can apply in the classroom as well? That's amazing. So, Angela, you have led teams in business and not-for-profit and community spaces. What's a leadership mistake that you made that now you're grateful for that mistake? And what did it teach you about leading people?
The greatest leadership mistake that I made is actually thinking I should know everything. And it is very humbling, especially when you come from the world of sports. So you're good at something, so you think it's pride, right? That you should be good at everything you touch. And it's like, no, eventually you'll get there. So more specifically, I was the director of a nonprofit called Network for Teaching Entrepreneurship, our St. Louis chapter. It was a new launch. We were a new market in the organization. And I would never forget the first board meeting with executives. I never seen an executive. Up until this point, I never went into a corporation. And
Mhm.
I was so nervous. And Camille, I remember distinctly sitting there acting like I knew what I was doing in terms of programming and fundraising. And they could see right through me. They could see. So afterwards, one of them sent me an email. She's like, okay, contact these people. I need you to draft a letter, send it to me. I'll revise it for you. And I was like, thank you so much because I didn't know what I was doing. And they knew it. And so from then on, I just started asking for help.
Yeah, yeah. How does that impact how you lead people now? Because you may see the same thing happening with the people that you're leading.
Now now I encourage them to ask questions and
Hmm.
then always say like, what am I missing? Or what is how can this be better? And I'm happy that I openly welcome and expect feedback versus
Hmm.
before I thought I should know how to do it all.
I love that. And people ask me sometimes, how do you kind of navigate these rooms, right? And I found a lot or tremendous power in asking questions. Um, if even if you're the expert, asking questions of somebody else
Mhm.
to ensure that they either understand or so that you can provide them a better answer for what they're looking for. But when I don't know, that is a perfect opportunity to ask questions. And most people, 99.9% of people are very open to that. To say, for
Yes.
example, I don't know, can you help me with this? Or I may be off on this. What am I missing? And it's such a it's
Mhm.
a humble way to to enter a conversation, and it's actually quite a humble way to lead, right? That's kind of, you think about
Yes.
how coaching works, it's really about asking someone for what's inside of them and helping them bring out the answer themselves.
Yes. And getting them to bring the answer out means that they're now responsible for implementing the solution.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah, because it's certainly their answer.
Mm.
Okay, so we talked about confidence, and so people see your highlight reel, and you've the wins and the coaching and the leadership which you've demonstrated. What's a recent moment of doubt or fear that you've had to push through?
Recent moment of doubt or fear that I've had to push through. So I am on the board of Women in Sports and Events down here in Dallas, and I'm president elect of this organization. So next year I'll be president, and everyone within the organization works like for either a professional sports franchise or they work directly in like college, like somewhere in sport, right? Or
Hmm.
they work for a company that's directly. And and I don't, but they voted for me and they selected me to
Hmm.
lead. So I've dealt with recently. How did I get like? Why did y'all vote for me? And I know I'm supposed to be here. And so the other night we had an event and I moderated the panel with someone from the president of Trinity FC, the professional women's soccer team, and two people, an executive for the Dallas Cowboys, and someone who's a leader, another leader in the Cowboys, and someone who's a commissioner of one of the conferences, Kelly, who's on our board. And I was like, all right, I'm here. It doesn't matter how I feel about whether or not, or like whatever doubts I may have had. And Camille, let me tell you what happened at this event. There were so many young Black women in the audience who came up to me and said, I'm so proud of you. I'm so happy for you. Thank you for being here. Keep shining your light. Hey, Queen. And I was like, oh my God. Sometimes, so to sum it, sometimes the fear and doubt can be overcome if we can see who it's for, if it's bigger than us. Because if it's just Angie in her own head, it's like, okay. But if we can think about what we're doing it for or whose lives get better because we charted that path and pushed through the fear, it makes it worth it,
I love
even if
that.
it's not for us.
I love that. If it's not for me, who is it for or why? Or whose life is changed
Yes.
by me being here? And there are times when I had some doubt, and I recognize that sometimes it's just my being here is inspiring someone
Yes.
else. just showing
Yes.
up.
Just showing up. Just showing up. You
That's
just
awesome.
don't know. You
Yeah.
don't.
And also for you, you were there in your own, how do I say this? For your you okay, you're not a current athlete, you're not involved in the industry, but the president of the association isn't there because they're in the industry. They're there to influence the industry. And so there
Oh,
was a
I
purpose
received
in you
that.
being there.
Thank you,
Yeah,
Camille. I received that with every
yeah.
ounce of my soul. And you know who was in the room? Thank you for that. Oh, that just blessed me. Um, the week before this event, I was on a panel, University of North Texas. It was their sports and entertainment management program. There were a
Mhm.
bunch of students who were there, and I invited them to the event. And every student who showed up at the event came up to me and it's like, I'm here. Thank you so much for speaking to us. I'm here. And then they made connections with professionals in the industry. And I was like, this is why. This is this is it. This is exactly why I'm here
I love
to do
it.
more of this.
I love it. All right, so we're coming up to the end of our conversation. So I'm trying to decide if I do the lightning round first. Let's do the lightning round, and then I want to kind of sum up our conversation. So lightning
Okay.
round. First question. These are silly, silly questions.
Okay.
Pasta, quinoa, or rice?
Pasta.
Which one?
I said pasta, but if it is beans and rice, like peas and rice. But
Peas
you
and
just said
rice.
rice. I'm sorry. I created a whole nother
That's
category.
okay. Just throw some peas in there.
Right.
Okay.
My bad.
Okay. So peas and rice. All right. On peas and rice, this is like a St. Louis peas and rice you're talking about?
No, not like Jamaican. Yeah.
Okay. Rice
Rice
and
and
peas.
peas.
Okay. All
Rice
right.
and peas. Yes,
Yeah.
that's what I
Okay.
meant.
All about the rice and peas. Okay. Favorite season?
Spring.
Really?
Spring. Love spring.
Why spring?
Everything's everything is blooming. It's not quite as hot as summer. There's a newness to spring. You're coming out of winter. Yeah,
Mhm.
spring.
Okay.
That's what, yeah.
Yeah. Mine is fall. I guess because I've always we lived in Louisiana for so long. It's so hot. Like summer is so hellish that fall is the
Mhm.
relief. He's like, oh, finally. So I love the fall. Okay. Speaking of fall, favorite holiday, but I'm gonna give you three: Thanksgiving,
Okay.
Christmas, or Halloween.
Christmas.
Hmm.
Yeah, I would go with Christmas with those 3.
Yeah. A lot going on around
Yeah,
Christmas.
it is.
All right. Number four, coffee or tea?
I love them both. Oh, I drink them both every day. Gosh. I'm drinking tea right now. I'm gonna go with tea
Or
because
tea.
that is literally what's in my cup.
Okay. All right. But you also are a coffee lover, which is unusual. I
I'm
drink,
a
I
little
drink,
unusual, Camille.
I drink both, but I mean, to me, that's not even a hard question. It's coffee all day long, but I have the tea. All right, last lightning round question. Taylor Swift or Beyonce?
Beyonce. I don't even know. So, yeah, Beyonce all day.
All right.
Admire her
Okay.
work ethic.
Well, thank you so much, Angela. So as we wrap up, please share with us two things. What do you want our listeners to take away from this conversation? So
Mhm.
kind of, about Angela, and how can people get in touch with you?
What what do I want listeners to take away from this conversation about me?
Yes.
Is that I'm a connector. I love connecting people to opportunities. I love to see people win. Is of course the work I do with Speaker Hub as well. I'd be remiss to not mention Speaker Hub, which is how we are connected. So I love connecting people and helping them use their voice for good.
Mm, I love that. Do you want to say anything more about Speaker Hub?
Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you for opening that door.
Sure.
Speaker Hub is a community that helps people who want to share their voice and business owners who want to use speaking as a marketing tool to grow their business. So we have phenomenal software, amazing community to help people get booked on podcasts, conferences, associations, and to write for the media. So visit us at speakerhub.com.
I love
Work for
it.
me.
That's exactly what I
Speak of
did.
her.
And that's how we had a chance to meet. And I've been using the software and love it. I probably need to use it more. So I think it's a software. It's all about the person. You have to
Yes.
put forth effort. And I probably need to do some more effort on that. But it's when you do, the results are just amazing. So I thank you for your support from
Yes.
Speaker Hub as well. So Angela, how
You're
do people
welcome.
get in touch with you?
To get in touch with me, you can connect with me on LinkedIn, Angela R. Lewis. On LinkedIn, the R is for rebound. So think basketball, Angela R. Lewis on LinkedIn. Or you can go to my website, angelarlewis.com.
Sounds
I'd
good.
love to connect.
Thank you so much, Angela. This has been amazing. I appreciate you agreeing to be my guinea pig. I thought this conversation was amazing. I learned a lot from you, and I learned a lot from just your life and your experiences and your purpose. And so thank you very much for sharing it with us. All right,
You're welcome.
everyone.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks for joining our first podcast. Need to find my